Record now. Okay, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. We got the official recording on now. Lorraine from Jersey, welcome. Awesome. And then who else we got here? Are you able to see the chat? I'm just curious on your end.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So just want to make sure you can see it. Mike's been rocking it over 6 figures. Congratulations. I'm just saying hi to everybody. Hi, Tim. Welcome. Zona, Todd, Thomas. Everybody, welcome. All right, cool. And then Larry's in the house. James from Jersey. I just bought my second Lexus. I know, me too, Charles. I love Lexuses. They're like the best cars ever. They, it's like a Toyota. It's like a luxury Toyota. That's what they are. They never break down, right? All right.
I don't know. I'm an Audi girl. I don't know about
Audis are good. Are they good as far as like not breaking down? Because I know that the ride is impeccable. Some of my friends have it.
You know, they're worked for me. I don't know.
So you love them. They're a good
I love
reason.
them.
All right, that's all we need to know. Pamela's the expert tonight, so whatever she says, go. Everybody
Right.
buy an Audi at the end of this. James, what's up? Welcome. James just quit his job, Pamela.
He has a boss-free society.
That's what's up. Boss-free, firing bosses one after another. Tina made $44,000 in her first 3 months since the last event. Congrats. John says autumns are feats of engineering. That's awesome.
This is true.
All right, I think we can get rocking. Everyone's jumping on. We got about 100 on, and I know we're going to have more. So are you guys ready to rock? What's up, Steven? Welcome. Steven quit his job. He's made $200,000 the last 8 months.
Oh, my gosh. That's so great.
I'm telling you, you got yourself a great group here. Unbelievable.
I'm impressed. And I don't impress easily, I have to say.
I know. Wait till you see some of these guys in person. All right, so let's are we ready to give everybody tons of value?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right,
Are they
guys.
ready to receive? That's the question.
Yeah, are you guys ready to receive? Raise your hand if you guys are ready to receive. There's a little raise your hand button there. Okay, it's popping up. All the hands are going up. Yes, they're ready.
Okay, sounds good. You ready for me to share my screen?
Yeah, actually, I'll start, and then I'll throw it to you. I'm just going to give you a quick intro so you get the awesome intro that you so well deserve. So
thank you.
We'll start with that. So hey guys, thank you for joining us tonight. So another one of our wonderful products that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be pre-launching at the event, so I hope you guys are excited. We've been lining these up, and some of the names you're going to see here, like Pamela, is just an absolute rock star in what she does, and now she's going to take all that wonderful brain space and all those expertise and give it to us, since we're not experts in branding, and we're going to get to learn it really, really well. So let me pull this up so you guys can see this. Awesome. All right, let's start from the beginning. And Pamela, you can see my screen, right?
I do see your screen. It's your Zoom screen.
So perfect. Okay. And so, but you can see where it says how to brand yourself and everything, right? We're good?
No.
No?
We're looking at your browser window.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, okay. It's got a lag. Okay, that's good to know. All right, cool. Okay, thank you for sharing that. So now I know we got about a 5-second lag. Okay, cool. So hey guys, welcome. Last week we talked a little bit, just to get everyone caught up if you weren't here. First of all, for everybody that's on here, thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking the time to be here. This is going to be a jam-packed webinar, and it's all going to be about content for you guys. So as you guys know, we're not big on BS. We're all about giving you guys lots of value, and part of getting you guys caught up, in case you missed it last week, we will be doing a series of pre-product launches, one every week, and we're doing one a week so you guys can slowly simulate it, start taking it in, and utilize the products. But these are actually previews to those products so you guys can see the value and what's about to come. And last week we talked with Joe. Joe was absolutely awesome. He freaking tore it up with our simple 4 steps on how to drive massive traffic on YouTube, which you guys could take and implement right away. And we will be taking these recordings and putting it in our back office, guys. Primary reason, there's so much value on these, we don't want to just put them out on Vimeo. We want to make sure it's for members only. Only members are able to get access to that. And then next week, we're going to be talking about Facebook marketing, which is going to be really cool. And so before we can do all that, though, you know what? We talked a lot about creating these short videos and how to basically create content to post. So after last week's great video, you guys are like, well, you know, Joe just taught me how to start driving traffic on YouTube. And then next week, we're going to talk about Facebook and how you can drive traffic. But what am I going to put? What kind of content do I get to create? Like, Alex, what do I say on these videos? How do I start doing this? And that's really what comes down to what we call branding. And branding in simple nuts and terms is basically you guys branding yourself, developing your own story, what you need to do basically to start marketing yourself, to start getting traffic for yourself. And that's going to be really awesome. But in order to do that, we got to be able to get some of the best people in the industry to do it. And what I love about Pamela, I call her the content queen because she knows how to get the branding down. And she's joining us from her beautiful home are you close to Denver? I know you're close to.
I'm actually in downtown Denver right now. It looks like I'm sitting in a bar. I'm actually at a.
It does, actually.
It does, right? I need a pint, actually. That would just make the whole thing complete. I'm actually at a WeWork co-working space in downtown Denver. So
that's awesome.
And I'm sitting like in a phone booth so that you have privacy and it's quiet.
I love it. It's really cool. I didn't mention. I was thinking you look like you're in a bar. So thanks for
totally looks like.
So guys, she's not at a bar. She's actually at
sadly, I'm not in a bar.
Although she might need a drink after dealing with us for the next 45 minutes. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about Pamela. So she's actually her premier expertise is branding. She also does Facebook, and what I love about it is next week we're gonna talk a little bit more about Facebook. She has a really cool course just for starters in Facebook. For today, we're gonna focus on what her expertise is, which is basically branding. And she's worked with companies like JetBlue and major corporations. Her book, Customer Manifesto, is actually outranked Gary Vee, Tim Ferriss, as far as what every business owner needs in order to be able to read. She's one of the most sought out experts in the branding industry. She's been published in American Amex Open Forum and Business Insider. And as I just mentioned, I don't know how I had it in there twice. Sorry, that was my bad, Pam. But essentially, it's so powerful, I have to put it in there twice. It's how we recover.
You like put me up so high. You edified me so high. I really have to serve it up now.
You know what's so cool is that even though she's done all these awesome things, she's like so down to earth. You guys are gonna love her. And she's super passionate about helping people tell their stories because she really believes that every one of us has a story inside of us, which we love. And what I love about today, it's gonna be really a no BS content-packed webinar training today. So you guys get ready. We're gonna go ahead and let her take over here. And here's the cool part. What you're about to see is excerpts of what to expect on the product side and also what we're going to be launching at our event. So with that said,
yes, we are.
Yeah,
I'm going to get your beak wet with this little training.
I love it.
Here we go. You can see my desktop.
It's popping up right now. And yes, we are set.
Okay, cool. So what you should be looking at right now is a little... It looks like a little, like a console for sound engineering, doesn't it?
Tell me about your work.
Okay. So this is a question that I asked my little brother, Peter. He's been with his company for about 10 years, but I'll never forget this conversation. I said, so Peter, tell me about your new job. I have to look at my phone because this is how technical it is. And he replied this way. Well, I oversee the creative and technical processing for all voice files associated with Blizzard's games and ensure that the processing templates used for localization for foreign language versions are clear and adhere to established convention. And I just sat there and I had this look on my face like, huh? And he stopped and he goes, you've got that look on your face. And I said, what look is that? And he goes, I've seen this look before. Anytime somebody asks me what I do and I tell them what I do, they get this glazed over look on their face. And I'm like, why do you think that is, Peter? And he goes, I don't know, like they're just not interested. And I said, okay, well, wait a minute. Just tell me what you do. Like, what do you really, really do? And it's actually really cool what he does. But this is what happens. Oops, hold on. Not advancing, there we go. So when Peter is talking, and he's high analytic, okay? And I'm very expressive, that's my personality style, right? He's high logic, high analytic. All I hear is yada, yada, yada. Like what he's saying makes sense to him. It makes no sense to me. And we can't talk about branding and we can't talk about marketing. We can't talk about Facebook posts or anything about how you communicate what you do until we talk about the brain and what we know about the brain, how the brain receives information, and the big conundrum that we bump into when we're trying to communicate what it is we do. So when Alex and I were talking in preparation for this, he's like, well, let's start with Facebook. I'm like, you know, let's take the train all the way back to the station and let's talk about the basics of communication. And then by the end of this hour and by the end of our time together in San Francisco and by the by the time you guys finish this really simple, easy to understand course that we're talking about, you guys will have this down, and you're going to avoid a lot of the crappy conversations that Peter has bumped up against, that I've certainly been victim of. Alex, everybody has cut their teeth making these mistakes, and we just want to kind of short track you around all of these conundrums. So everybody on board with that?
Oh,
have you guys ever had that happen?
I mean, I love this. Raise your hand if you guys are loving what she's throwing down right now.
Oh my God. Like, you go to a party and people just, it's just torturous. So I'm going to help you avoid all of.
You got over 40 hands up, just so you know. They keep going up. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
So here's what I want to explain to you. What I finally uncovered with my little brother Peter is that he's got the coolest job on the planet. If any of you guys are gamers, you probably are familiar with World of Warcraft. Okay, it's like one of the largest multi-person, I think they call it 3D reality games. Like, you are in the game, and it's similar to the Matrix. It's kind of like you are in it, and depending on the move that you decide to make, where you turn, an action that's coming up from behind you or something in front of you, it's comprised of these little modules of sound that are based on the actions that you're taking. And that's what my little brother does. And I said, damn, like, if you had explained it to me like that, I would have been like, if he had said, Pam, have you ever seen the movie The Matrix? Yes, of course I've seen The Matrix. Okay, it's like you're in The Matrix, and I get to decide where all this sound comes from based on your actions. I'm getting really fired up here and warm, so I'm taking my sweater off.
Y'all be careful. She's about to really start throwing stuff down now. Go ahead, Pam.
You can see my point. If he had understood, if he had come out of his own understanding of communication to try to better understand the way I like to receive and how the majority of people like to understand and how they like to receive communication, he could have had a really compelling and interesting conversation with me. Instead, I got a deer in the headlights. So anyway, we're going to talk about the brain, because this is really, really important. There's a lot of new research that's done about how the brain receives information and how we speak and how we create information in our brain when we're communicating, orally through our mouth, right? So when you understand this, so many things will, like the clouds will part, angels will weep, and you will finally understand why certain people bore you and other people are just excite you, and they get you all elevated with your energy. So the conundrum is that when we are speaking, we're speaking from a very evolved part of our brain. This is the neocortex. It's the newest part of our brain. It's where we do a lot of decision making and critical thinking. A lot of high analytic thinking happens in that part of the brain. Okay. The conundrum is that where we listen from is from what's called the crocodile brain, and that's the you can see it right there, the bottom one, croc brain. This is very primal. Sometimes it's called reptilian brain because its function is very simple. Okay, we take in stimulation. Usually it's through the eyes or from what we're hearing, and information travels through our brain, and we're just trying to decide a few things. Do I need to run from it? Do I need to fear it? Do I want to eat it? Do I want to mate with it? That's pretty much it. Now, right now, you're probably sitting there running what I'm saying through that process. You're probably thinking, I want to mate her. No, I'm just kidding. You're probably thinking, here's what you're probably thinking unconsciously. This is unknowingly, unconsciously, your brain is making decisions for you. And you're trying to decide, okay, does what Pam says match up with what I know? Does she look legitimate? Does she articulate in a way that I can relate to? Do I like the way she looks? Do I like the tone of her voice? And we do this all the time. You're doing it to me right now. And what happens is that when somebody's
so true,
right? And when somebody doesn't match up, we immediately shut down and we do this. We pick up our phone and we disengage. We might not do that at a party, but we certainly do it when we go to events, right? Like you can see that I was just at an event up in Boulder a couple days ago, and I was just kind of sitting in the back watching people, and there was the most fascinating guy on stage. He's actually runs digital for the CIA, and this guy's tracking anything that's happening digitally through social media, through CIA. And I thought, wow, this guy's going to be really fascinating. Well, it turns out he's a lot like my brother, and he communicates from a very, high analytic state. And I was watching the room, and everybody was so excited to hear what this guy was learning about data. And what happened? Everybody's just looking in their computers, and it was just like, dang, he just lost them. It was gone. So what we want to be able to do, and these subconscious decisions are being made very quickly in our brain. So we have seconds to try to get somebody's attention and really kind of stand out in the sea of sameness.
Sure.
Once you get past that gate, it's a bit of a stage gate. Once you get past it and somebody's just like, I like them, like I feel their vibe, they're cool, I want to hang out with them, then you're good. Now you can start articulating at a high analytical state, but you got to get past that stage gate first. Making sense so far, Alex?
Oh yeah, I love it. I didn't notice either. I'm actually taking notes while you're talking, so it's awesome.
Good. So this is really important for you to understand. So if you have ever received that glazed over look, my recommendation would be to think about your thoughts before you speak, really simplify it, and then just start to ask questions as you're beginning communication, just to make sure somebody's tracking. Oftentimes when I meet somebody for the first time, I'll use words like right, and just to get their head nodding. I'll say a sentence, let's say right, just acknowledge that you're tracking what I'm saying. It's the equivalent on Facebook of just giving the thumbs up, right? Or one of the emojis. So that's really, really key, important for you to just do some personal reflection on that. We're gonna help you with marketing messaging. We're gonna help you with all of this stuff in San Francisco and through this course, but it's really, really critical in preparation for that event and for that level of learning that you get this. This is like marketing 101, right? Okay. So what we want to be able to do through this process of this initial engagement with somebody, again, whether it's digital or it's face-to-face, it's an article, or maybe it's your landing page where people are going, or perhaps a video, is that we want to do what I call crossing the blood-brain barrier. And it's basically the heart and the head. That's what we're talking about. So when one of the things that somebody, I think it was Ray Higdon, said to me, he goes, you know what's really interesting about you? He goes, like, I feel like in a matter of minutes, people really trust you. And I said, really? That's interesting. And he goes, there's just something charismatic about you. And I said, you know, all it is me expressing interest in the other person. That's literally all it is. I don't really do anything different than anybody else, but I'm sincerely intrigued by people, and I'm super curious about their stories. And so sort of interesting how trust can be built when that authenticity is really felt. It's sincere and it's real. And I know that this community is super vested in, you know, keeping shit real online, because there's so much junk out there. And that's the only reason why I'm contributing my content to you guys, because I know that it's a legitimate group who are looking to legitimately escalate and elevate their whole way of thinking, their offer, everything that has to do with your customers. I want you guys to be just supremely good at it. So every coin you're making, you have sincerely earned it, and it's yours, and you're saying that's legitimate. Like, I'm not shaking anybody down, right? Okay, so the whole name of the game is simple, clear, big picture, distill the conversation down to the core, filter out all of the other details when you're first engaging with somebody. Those details can come later when somebody kind of leans in and they're asking you more questions, okay?
Okay.
So there's a couple of different ways that I like to think about branding and marketing. This is called net casting. And the interesting thing about net casting is that, you know, doesn't really take a whole lot of skill to do this. You can pretty much just stand on the bow of a boat. You can cast a net. Whatever happens to be in that space in that given time underneath the boat is yours. And it might be a fish or two. It might be a tennis shoe or a hubcap. We just don't know. It's not by design or intention. It's just what happens to be there. And marketing oftentimes is a lot like net casting. It's a little broad. We're not specific in who it is that we're looking to talk to. An ideal customer profile. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do this. Okay, we're going to talk about this today. But what I want you to think, rather than net casting, I want you to think more like this guy, fly fishing. And any fly fishermen or women out there in the audience?
Any fly fishers, guys? Go ahead and comment now.
You're gonna, well, you're probably gonna run what I'm gonna say through that reptilian brain again. You're gonna be like, okay, she might know a little bit about fly fishing. It's pretty rudimentary, I'll just tell you that. But with fly fishing, in order for you to be successful at it, you have to have a lot of things right in the moment. You have to be standing in the right part of the river at the right time of day. You have to have the right cast. You have to have the right line. You got to have the right fly at the end of that line. And it's got to be the right fly, meaning that the fish that you see that's in that eddy swimming around in the circle feeding, that he recognizes it as something that he wants, something that he needs. He's not thinking consciously. That's not what fish do. They just recognize it as something in nature, or replicating nature, to the degree that they rise up and they bite on it. Okay, that's the whole intention behind fly fishing. It is super specific. Now, a lot of people in marketing, they think, well, my solution helps a lot of people. So they think my messaging has to be very broad. And actually the opposite is true. When you think in terms of niche, like who specifically do I want to work with? What are their personal attributes? What are the personality types? What do they love to do for recreation? What do they like to do for fun, family, whatever they're, we're going to help you design this, but I'm just saying being super specific and niching down is the name of the game for a lot of different reasons I'm going to share with you right now. This all leads up to your personal brand story. And there are a lot of people that are in this organization that you guys have built, right? Every single one of you could have a completely unique, what I would call an ideal customer, and you guys would never be fighting with each other, swimming or fishing in the same pond. You could be in a billion different ponds online or face-to-face in social situations, and you guys could be easily recruiting and never step on each other. So this is why I want you to think in terms of specificity with who it is that you want to work with. And that is going to come through your brand story. So there's this great little quote from Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks. People want to do business with brands they believe they share values with. And values are something that we're starting to hear more and more brands or organizations talk about, because they know that the fastest way to create loyalty is through values. They understand, look, if we can project what we do, and not just what we do, but why we do what we do, right? This goes back to Simon Sinek and why, right? Have you guys all seen his TED Talk? Hopefully, if not, you'll definitely want to go check that out online on YouTube. Simon Sinek, and it's about why. And when businesses start with why, it's really easy for us to immediately connect emotionally at the heart level. It's not about logic. It's now about how things make us feel. And that's where values live. When you think about your personal values, as a matter of fact, I'd like you guys right now, if you're taking notes, just jot down 3 values that are kind of core to who you are. Here are 3 of mine, for example. Integrity is number 1, like doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. That's at the top of my list. And it's something that I've instilled in my kids since they were very, very young. Just do what you say you're going to do. And if you can't do it, just own it. And let's find the workaround. Okay. Number 2 is dignity. I never want to strip people from their God-given right to have dignity, and respect kind of falls into that same category. Okay. So just respecting people where they are and why they're there, and kind of love and support them where they are. So those are 3 things that are really important to me. And what I'd like to invite you to do right now is to just jot down 3 things that are really important to you. I've actually got this great exercise I'm going to be bringing with me to San Francisco to help you guys really kind of drill down in this area, because who you are as a person is a direct reflection as to the content you're going to be creating and the messaging through your brand story and your personal story and how that gets told. So values first. That's job number 1. When we even did this exercise with JetBlue employees, believe it or not. I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And I was working with one of their teams out of their LAX station. And they were never trained on soft skills, which I thought was really interesting, because they're dealing with customers all day long. And they're one of the highest rated airline carriers in the industry. But they were never, ever taught about soft skills, and that's all about the values. So really critical. Okay, so again, when we're talking about brand story, everything that you create, it doesn't matter if you're a solopreneur, it doesn't matter if you're a mid-market company or enterprise level company or a brick and mortar business, mom and pop shop down the street. It all starts with brand story. And how this story gets translated is sometimes in the smallest things, like a Facebook ad, or it could even be a Facebook post, right? It could be an email message that you're sending out. It could be what you're saying face-to-face when clients or customers cross the threshold, right, or you're hanging out at a party socially. It's how we communicate what we do. It could be your landing page. You guys are all going to be developing landing pages if you haven't already. And how it is that you're personally conveying who you are in this process of success has to be communicated through that landing page. So any content, particularly video, which is just like, look, you're kind of looking at me naked right here. This is who I am. This is what I represent. And people are going to attach that really, really quickly. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is why stories matter. And somebody was asking me recently, they're just like, so with stories, like when did we start to lose this ability to tell a good story? And I started thinking about this. I'm like, well, I think it kind of started probably with the advent of radio, because before that, it's sort of like our cultural, our education, our values as a tribe of people coming together, those were conveyed, historical data were conveyed through story, and they were taken from generation to generation. And at some point, probably with the advent of technology, we just kind of acquiesced that skill, and eventually coming to today, it's been like the dark night of the soul as it relates to storytelling, but now we're starting to see this renaissance. Brands are really starting to get this. And even watching advertisements on TV, the ones that tell a good story. Do you guys remember that Ford truck? I think it was a Super Bowl commercial that Ford did, and it was all about the cowboy. Look it up. It's beautifully written. It has nothing to do with Ford. It's about a guy and his lifestyle and his values. So that's really what storytelling is all about. So stories are important because they can create an emotional connection in seconds. We inherently track a message when it's in story format. Very few people know how to tell a good story, so it's really easy to stand out. We all have a friend like who's just a genius storyteller. Mine is Murph. We all have a Murphy in our life, right? So mine is, drunken Murph, and he always tells a great story. So, and because you have mere seconds to create that emotional connection, it's really, really key that you do it in a way that's really interesting and educational, right? And
we tell like about 25 to 30 stories on a webinar. I don't know if people even catch that, but yeah, it works.
Well, now they're going to start to listen with a different ear because their awareness is being raised, right? It's so critical. Attention spans are shrinking. That's absolutely for sure. So when you think about your landing page, or if you have a website, you have seconds. People are looking at the website just trying to make a determination. Does this make sense? Okay. So, Alex, are you familiar with the hero's journey?
Oh yeah, that's Russell Brunson's major story that he uses as well for this.
Yes, exactly. He's got a great personal story about making the potato gun, right? That's part of his hero's journey story. Now I'm gonna spin this a little bit for you, and I'm gonna ask you guys to kind of shift the focus on the hero to something a little bit different than what you're probably used to. So the hero's journey is a concept that was written, it was evolved by Joseph Campbell. He was a mythologist, and he studied about 1,000 different mythologies from.
Hey Pamela, you're cutting in and out a little bit. Sorry about that.
Okay. No problem. I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine now. Okay, perfect.
Okay, great.
Go ahead.
Okay, so let me just quickly go through this. Unless, Alex, are they well schooled on the hero's journey?
No, this is great. And so I said, like on the last event, I taught a little bit about the Epiphany Bridge with Russell. But like I said, this is a whole different perspective that you're going to give it, which I think is what it's based on. So I'd love to hear it.
Okay, great. So the hero's journey is pretty simple. You can see at the top, there is an adventurer, okay? And he's starting a journey. But you can see this horizontal line that cuts through the middle, or through the top third. At the top is the normal world, or what I would call the ordinary world, and everything below it is what's called the unknown, okay? So when we start a journey of learning or doing anything for the first time, we are starting in an ordinary world where everything is familiar to us. There's a call to adventure, and this is the thing that is driving us forward to say, I want to change, I want to learn, I want to evolve, okay? So there's a call to adventure. We start out on the journey. We meet somebody along the way that would be the equivalent of like Yoda, and he's taking you in, and he's saying, oh, you want to go there? In this case, all the way to the top of the circle, having gone around. I can take you where you want to go, but just be prepared that you're going to be going into a world that's the unknown. And oftentimes what happens is we embark on this journey and we cross this horizontal line into the unknown, is that we retreat because it's too scary. This is why people start and then stop. In everything we do, we start and then we stop. This is why, because they hit something that's the unknown, and it hits a trigger, probably something in our reptilian brain that says fear, danger, unknown, it's too hard, I have to sacrifice too much, or I didn't think it was going to be this hard. And so they quit and they come back to their ordinary world. But if you want to evolve, more importantly, if you want your customers to evolve, you have got to take them arm in arm through this place of the unknown. And every time they start to feel like, oh my God, I just want to retreat and go back to the known world. No, 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 no. Now we're too far. We've crossed the halfway point. We've gotten to this point. It's kind of like flying from LA to Hawaii. If there's engine trouble, 55% of your way to Hawaii. You don't turn around and go back to LA. You continue flying, right? Like we are in it. We are deep in it, and we're just going to get to our fastest
We're
route.
already halfway there. We're going to just keep going.
We're just going to keep going. So hang on. It's going to be okay. You're going to be safe. I've been here before with other people. I'm going to get you there. Okay. So what happens is we get through it. We change through this process. We have epiphanies. We have atonement. We get the gift, which is that thing that brought us all the way full circle. Like, I'm so glad that I went through that extreme trauma because I learned something really interesting about myself. That experience was hell, but I did it. Okay. What takes us to the top is the guidance of someone else. So in Russell's case, he's the hero. He's positioned himself as the hero. A lot of brands make a critical, and I'm not saying like Russell's a genius. I'll never call that guy like he made a mistake or anything.
Yeah.
That guy's like the best, right?
And he said, he had a mentor, and then it started out with like, oh, it was all about success, but then I realized it was all about contribution, but I had to go through that journey.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So he has now this period where he can reflect back and say, at one point, I was on the hero's journey. Somebody guided me. Now he's guiding other people. That's what he does with his business. And that's what you guys can do too. So the biggest mistake that brands make is they position themselves as the hero and not their customer.
So true.
That's critical to this entire exercise that I'm going to be taking.
I'm going to have you repeat that because that's like so powerful. And guys, I've actually listened to CDs and so much like things. And when I got this part, what you just said was the most important part. Because when you make videos, you're like, oh, I'm the greatest, come join me. And it's all about you. Where you just said, if you make the videos and it's more about making your customers don't care about you. They want to know like they can be the hero in the story, right?
Absolutely. Because all we care about is changing our state. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you got that Lamborghini and that.
Exactly. What's that got to do with me?
Right. It has nothing to do with me. Blessings to you. But that doesn't serve me. So one of the things I'm going to just kind of pause here for personal reflection and share with you guys. One of the things that I have struggled with in writing my own story is that something that I'm super sensitive to when I go to events and I hear people speak from the stage, when they're talking about their personal story and it feels almost like it's a manipulation on my emotions, I immediately, I turn off. That's when my cell phone is whipped out and I'm just like, I don't want to be manipulated. I never want to manipulate somebody else through telling a story. So I'm always super sensitive. Like I've had my share of trauma, just like everybody on this call. We've all had things that
we all have our own stories.
We do. We have the things that have created who we are today, and that's great. The thing that I really struggle with is how do I tell it without pandering something that is personal to me? I don't want it to feel like I don't want the audience to feel manipulated through my sharing of that. And so there's a lot of stuff that is not even public about me that would be great for this. I just don't know how to do it. So I'm just going to share with you in full transparency. I know how to make my ideal customer the hero. I don't know how to make myself the hero without kind of jerking people's emotions. So just be super sensitive about that as you're building your.
So when you're saying about, and I love what it said. So essentially, if you're, if they're the hero, what are you? Then you're the guide, basically. You're the Yoda, right?
I'm the Yoda. Yeah, we're all the Yoda.
Yeah.
By the end
I love Yoda.
Yeah, we're all going to be the Sherpa or any sort of hero. So I'm going to share with you guys now that I'm going to break down. We're going to get to the good right here. I'm going to break this down. You're going to start to look at the way stories are crafted really differently. Your favorite movie. As a matter of fact, in the chat, type up what is your very, very favorite movie.
Guys, what's your favorite movies? Type it out now.
Okay, we're going to break down the Hollywood blockbuster formula for telling a great story. And then I'm going to share with you how certain brands have done a really good job. And then we're going to kind of break this down so that you can start this process too. So I call this the Hollywood blockbuster formula to tell a great story. And there's really just 3 essential elements to it. Super simple. There's a character, there's the desire, and there's the obstacle. Every great movie follows this formula. It's ridiculously simple. It goes like this. Okay, we're all familiar with Rose from Titanic, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is like the first time we see her, this shot right here, where she's walking up the gangplank to get onto the Titanic, and her head's down. She's got this beautiful hat. She looks up, and you can see this look on her face. You can see already she's got like her knickers twisted about something. Like she's not so excited or anything. It's almost like she's going to her death toll. Why? Because she's being forced into a marriage that she just doesn't want to do, okay? So what the movie does immediately, there's 2 main characters, right? We have Jack and we have Rose. But in this case with Rose, They're painting this picture. What is her ordinary world? What is her life like today? And through the first third of the story, we're understanding how stifled she is, what her mom's like. Her father's passed away. They're destitute. She's got to get married for the family to, to keep their social standing in the elite. She looks at another little girl while they're having tea, and she sees how stifled that little girl is becoming, and she's repulsed by the entire thing. Okay, so this is really, really key when we think about our character, the main character for a story. What's really important is that they are relatable, and every script that's written with a main character, they have to create what they call identifiers, and it's things that we can identify with. Right? This is what makes them relatable, and we start to kind of pull from them and become curious, and our heart is now getting involved in it. I've, going first class and living this lifestyle, this is not where I come from. I can't relate to this social status, but I can certainly relate to being repressed and being in a relationship where I felt like, I couldn't be 100% myself. We can all relate to that. We've all.
They brought out the human element, which is the part where you're able to connect with. Got it.
That's exactly right. It's just the part of the human journey. So Rose's ordinary world looks like this. She's being pressured into marriage. She's stifled by high society. She's a free thinker, right? Do you remember that scene where she starts whipping out the Picassos and her fiance is mocking them? He's like, "This is garbage," and she's like, "I think they're really interesting." Now we start to see she's a free thinker, right?
Right.
She doesn't appreciate being controlled by this guy. And she's on the edge emotionally to the point that she's ready to hurl herself over the ledge. And this is when these two meet, right? Okay, so that's Rose's ordinary world. Now, I want to translate this into a brand story. Okay, this is really, really good. So I'm going to take out my earbuds because I want you guys to hear this. We're going to play a quick little video. Weight Watchers does a great job taking brand story and creating an ordinary world out of somebody that we all know. So let me go click play.
Simpson, and yes, I'm doing Weight Watchers. There is a lot of pressure to lose weight, but I'm not a supermodel.
The screen is paused, Pam. Can you minimize it? If you minimize it, I think it'll work.
For my daughter.
Say again.
I said the screen it's just paused. Can you there you go. Just leave it at can you minimize it? And if you do, I think we'll be able to see the whole thing.
Okay, cool. Let's start from the start.
I'm Jessica Simpson, and yes, I'm doing Weight Watchers. There is a lot of pressure to lose weight,
but
I'm not a supermodel. I'm just Jessica, trying to eat real food in the real world, and I really just want to be healthy for my daughter. So I knew Weight Watchers was the only way to go. It's working. I'm on my way, and it feels amazing. Really, I just want to be a better version of myself. Join for free. You'll see. Weight Watchers, because it works.
Yeah, that was very generic and very relatable to everybody.
So simple. Okay, let me blow this up now.
Perfect. And guys, what I want you to get, what she's teaching you is you're wondering how does this relate to you? Hopefully you're getting it. Is the fact that she's saying every story is almost like a movie script, right? She's about to bring it back. And if you think of it that way, you guys can do it as well. So go ahead.
I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Okay, so Jessica's ordinary world. Oops, hold on. There we go. There's a lot of pressure to lose weight. She's not a supermodel. She wants to eat like regular people. Her simple desire is to be healthy for her daughter, and she just wants to be a better version of herself. We can all relate to that, right?
Totally.
Doesn't matter how much weight you want to lose. They're what Weight Watchers does really, really good is they know who their ideal customer is. It's somebody who just wants all of these attributes. The same thing, Jessica. Is she a celebrity, and is she able to edify? Because we're all familiar. Do you remember when she was just lampooned in the press when she was pregnant?
Yeah.
And she got enormous, and poor thing was on the tabloids. It was really horrific what happened to her image, and that's why she's just a perfect spokesperson for this brand. So beautifully done by those guys. Now I'm going to show you how we start this process for you. This is what we call our ideal customer profile, and a profile is really just like script writing. This is the way I've been describing it for years. It's like you have a main character, somebody that you want to work for. This is the fish that you're looking to fly fish for. So here we go. I've created one for you. This is my avatar. If I were doing your work, this is what she would look like. Okay, this is Anne. She's my hero. Okay, she's 24 years old. She's a college graduate. She lives and works full-time for a small business. She's an adventurer. She loves music and food and adult bevies and craft beer. She's very social. She loves to travel and is saving for a trip to Costa Rica. She's a good steward of her money, and she's conservative financially, and she hangs out online on Instagram and Facebook, okay? Mostly Instagram, okay? So that's Anne. So you can see I have started to write the character for my story. This is Anne, all right?
Right.
Okay, cool. So essential element number 2. Any questions about that before we move on to number 2?
No, but you can have like different types of, like you said, customer profile. We have like one for business owners, one for retirees, and one for professionals, right?
Yes, just like every company out there, you will have multiple, depending on how many products or services you have, you will have multiple perfect or ideal customers.
Cool.
So this exercise is really key for every single one of them. Because
And
they're desired. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The only thing I was going to add to that is, guys, when you're building this, like you said, you guys can brand like a particular sub-market, like she just mentioned. So if you guys like love to work with women and you're women and you want to empower women, you can work with women and business owners and develop a sub-market on that. If you're a retiree and you want to focus on retirees, you can basically market to male retirees, that are over 50 years of age, and then you start writing out. So what she just showed, step 1, could literally be a lot of different ones, okay?
Absolutely. But step 1 in this process is just to go with one. And one of the things somebody says to me, well, how do you come up with these different attributes to build out this profile? And I think a really great place to go is into Facebook ads. You're going to learn more about how to do ads. But when you start to design ads, Facebook asks you, well, what magazines do they read, and what do they drive, and where do they live, and how much they make, and what is their age range? But I want you to get specific with the age. The picture is really key. You've got to put a name and a picture. And actually what we require all of our clients to do is to take this profile, print the whole thing out, including the name and the picture, and they tag it right over their desk. And anytime they're creating a piece of content, it doesn't matter if it's an ad or a post, they look at that and say, is that something that Anne would buy or respond to? Yeah? So this is really key. Start with one, develop that avatar, that persona, and then we'll move on to other products and services and add more avatars as you go.
Love it.
So cool. So essential element number 2 in the Hollywood blockbuster story is the desire. You think again about the hero's journey. There's no reason for you to go into the darkness, into the dark night of the soul, to come out the other side if you don't have anything to do it for, right? You just don't start adventuring for no reason. There are some people that do that, but it's a little aimless. So when we're designing a business, we just want to be super intentional. And our perfect customer, our ideal customer, they have a desire too. Our job is to figure out what that desire is. Now, here's the secret to this whole desire thing that we're going to talk about, is that what you find is that when you get super specific with your main character of your story, is that most of them have the same or very similar desires, and they have similar objections, and they have similar challenges. And it makes writing copy for them exponentially easier, because now you understand their psychology and how to write content that helps them make a decision. So let's do a drill down on the desire. So are you familiar with this movie, right, Alex?
That looks familiar. I can't spell. What is that? The one with Owen or Wilson or?
Close. It's Tom Hanks in Castaway.
I don't even remember. Nobody remembers the name of the movie, but they remember the damn ball, because that's what it was. It's Wilson, right? Wilson.
Exactly.
That was the main character in that movie, right?
Yeah, very good. Wilson was the main character. Okay, so Chuck had a singular desire. Here he is on an island. He's by himself, and the only thing that he wanted was to get back to Kelly. This was the love of his life, and his goal was to escape this island on a raft, knowing that he would rather die trying than sitting there waiting to be rescued. He had control over one thing, and that was how he died. As a matter of fact, I think that was a quote from the movie. He said, "I had control over nothing. I couldn't even decide." Or I had no control how I was even going to die. And so when he set out on this raft, he said, screw it, let's go, because I don't want to sit on that island just wandering and waiting, right? Okay, so this is the overarching desire. Now, when you're talking about your ideal client and what it is that they want, there's really 4 things that you need to think about. These are kind of 4 basic things that we need when we're talking about desire. So you should hit on 2 of these 4. Okay, number 1, win. It's to win. You could win a fight, a competition. Think about Rocky, the love of another. You just want to overcome something, and you want to be a victor in that. Okay? Escape. Okay, in this case with Castaway, escape was what it was all about. He had to get out of some situation. He wanted to stop, or pardon me, stopping is another one, another desire to pursue, prevent some bad thing from happening, okay? Or retrieve, and that is to get something and bring it back, okay? Sometimes it's the love of another, sometimes it's an object, but when you have 2 of these 4 things as you're writing your desire part, it will really help you anchor down for your ideal customer, somebody who's reading your copy. Oh yeah, now I feel like they're speaking to me, not to the masses, they're talking to me. We want to talk to Anne, one person, not 100 Annes, just Anne, that's it. Right. There's many of her out there. So, Dollar Shave Club. You familiar with Dollar Shave Club, Alex?
Yeah, very much so.
Oh, God, I love this guy. I want to have beers with him. He's so adorable. Okay. So this is the homepage of Dollar Shave Club, and we're going to try this again. I'm going to minimize this because I want you guys to watch their ad. It's 1 minute and 34 seconds long, and they do a genius job of hitting the nail on the head with the desire of their ideal customer. So let's watch this together. Okay. There we go.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. Think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this is hey. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
Only guy I know who makes shaving fun. I loved it.
Okay. Let's go back to full screen.
That's so awesome.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, the guys, I know you guys haven't had a chance, like, the video was cutting in and out, but I think you guys got the overall gist. And the other thing I've also noticed is, like, people use a lot of humor now in videos, which gets it to go viral, which is something else we've been doing with ours as well. So
I'm gonna take a little improv class. There you go. Okay, so understanding your customers' desires is something that Dollar Shave Club does exceedingly well. They know their customers want a high quality razor. They want it at a fair price. They want it delivered to their door. They want to shave time and shave money. That's their tagline, which I think is so cute and clever. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So now when we're focusing on results, I'm going to move you over here. Now we're focusing on the results. That's what Dollar Shave Club does really well. They know what we want. That's our desire. These are the results that we want when we use their razors. Remember, the results your product or service provides to your ideal customer or your hero, this is the finish line. So what is the result they want, okay? For most people, for what you guys do, it's pretty simple. They want more time and they want more money, right? And those are actually their 2 most valuable assets. So what we want to do is paint the picture. Here's how you can have more time to travel. Anne wants to travel, right? Here's how you can have more money to pay down student loans. Whatever it is your ideal customer is looking for, that's the result. So focus on that. If you fail to connect the dots to this point, your audience is just going to say, I don't care, I don't get it, I don't understand it, doesn't make sense to me, and they're going to walk away. There's no glue that holds the story together at that point, okay?
That's a quick question from you?
Yes.
On the 4 poses, said to win, to escape, stop, or to retrieve, right?
Yes.
So you're talking about escape, so they could be escaping their job, basically. To win would be to be home with family. So that's how you could tie the 2 of those together in a story and base it on your own maybe as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's so many, listen, there's 1,000 different ways that we can weave this fabric. So it's one of those things, when you come to San Francisco, we're gonna help you get this whole thing down, okay? So come, I want to meet you. Okay, so So here's Anne's desires. She wants to escape her everyday life to have adventure. She wants to stop paying off her student loans. She wants to live a life free of obligations, at least for a little while. And she wants to make money from her laptop. It's pretty simple. We can travel anywhere in the world with our laptop and make money, right? Pretty easy. Okay, cool. So the third essential element is the obstacle. And do you remember, were you even born when this movie came out?
Dude, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Is this Dancing with Wolves, or is that the one where he throws the thing in the water? I don't even know. He's laughing.
Oh,
I guess that's not the
I'm laughing with you, not at you.
okay.
This is Kevin Costner, and this is Field of Dreams. Which
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I was born. Thank you for saying that. Though.
I love this movie.
I feel extremely young now. Thank you.
Yeah, build it and they will come. For a lot of people who were born, before 1990 or right after 1995, they're just like, I have no clue where that came from. This is the movie Field of Dreams. Okay, so Ray, this is our main character, Ray, and he's all in on a BHAG, which is an acronym for Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. Okay, his BHAG is that he's hearing this little voice in his head and he's saying, till under your cornfield and build this baseball field. And he's just like, I don't know what's going on. But his home and his livelihood are in jeopardy. These are his obstacles. Our emotion stems out of seeing this conflict, right? It's completely irrational. Of course, you wouldn't mow down acres and acres of your cornfield because you hear a voice. It's fantasy, but we can't wait to see where the fantasy takes us, right? We identify with his journey to overcome these obstacles. And the emotion from the audience comes out of some seemingly insurmountable conflicts. They're about to take his farm away, and he and his family are going to be basically on that dirt road down the road in Iowa, and he's willing to like, it's in Vegas, and he's like, I'm all in on this bet. I don't know what it means, but it's it's making sense to me in some way, shape, or form. Our connection to him as a main character is just like, how in the hell is he going to get out of this situation and get the money together, okay, to save his farm? Mm-hmm. So Airbnb, now let's translate this into a brand. Airbnb is a brand that we're all familiar with, but they had some challenges and some obstacles when they were branding their business that they had to overcome. And it's kind of a two-sided part of the equation where they had people who wanted to rent out their rooms, but they weren't sure who these people were going to be that were going to be staying in their home. Were they safe to have these people in their home?
Right.
Were they going to trash my home? What was going to be the fallout from this? Was it going to be worth it? And the opposite end of the spectrum was that they had people who wanted to stay in homes, but they're just like, am I going to get molested in the middle of the night?
Right.
Who owns this home? Like, all these crazy things come into our head. That was Airbnb's big obstacle with their branding story. And so what they decided to do, and this is a lot, I think this is really going to work for you guys in this situation with your business model, is that they put their customers at the center of the brand story. So in this case, this is Judith right here. And she loved to cook, and she was married for many, many years, and her husband passed away, and she just didn't even want to go into the kitchen because it reminded her of him and all that was gone from her life, and she was just so sad for many years. Airbnb, the whole concept came up to her, and she's like, wow, if I open my home up to other families, and maybe families with kids, it'll bring some joy back into my home. So that's what she did. So Airbnb has done a great job of cataloging and curating these stories of people on both ends of that story spectrum, the customers and the hosts, of saying, this is why it's really fun and it's interesting, and you're going to have some great experiences meeting new people. So they put their customers in the center of the story. You guys can do that too. As a matter of fact, I would highly encourage it. I don't like to talk about my personal stories. I shared that with you at the beginning.
Sure.
If I were in your situation, that's what I would do. I would put a customer who's had great success in the middle of the story and say, here's where they were before. Here's what they were struggling with. Here's what their desire was, and here's how we help them.
That's where the testimonials will come in and all the success stories. Share
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, cool. So how are we doing on time? Okay, we're doing
good.
Well.
As long as you're good.
So the other way that I like to kind of start to frame this story now is with something called the Pixar pitch. And it's really pretty famous within script writing circles because it's very formulaic. As a matter of fact, if you have little kids, you've probably seen every Pixar movie out there. And once I share with you the Pixar pitch, you're going to go, oh yeah, I totally get it. Now I see the pattern. Okay. So it goes like this. Once upon a time there was, every day, one day, because of that, until finally. That's the Pixar pitch. Every Pixar movie follows this framework. So here's how it goes with Finding Nemo. Once upon a time, there was a widowed fish named Marlin who was extremely protective of his only son, Nemo. Every day, Marlin warned Nemo of the ocean's dangers and implored him not to swim far away. But one day, in an act of defiance, Nemo ignores his father's warnings and swims into the open water. And because of that, he's captured by a diver and ends up in a fish tank of a dentist in Sydney. And because of that, Marlin sets off on a journey to recover Nemo, enlisting the help of other sea creatures along the way, until finally Marlin and Nemo find each other, reunite, and learn that love depends on trust. That's it. That's the Pixar pitch right there. Okay, so let's make this up for Anne. Ready? Here we go.
Ready.
We got to go fast.
Do this.
Woo! Once upon a time, there was a girl named Anne who was smart, educated, and she did what was expected of her from friends and family. And every day she drove to her job and worked 10 long hours sitting behind a desk, pushing papers from one side of the desk to the other, until one day she sees a picture in Instagram of an exotic beach. And because of that, she decides she can't take another day working for somebody else's dream. And because of that, she searched online for a way to make money using her laptop from anywhere in the world, until finally she found a way to earn money while she travels, and now she's building her dreams.
Nice.
That's it, the Pixar pitch. Now, here's how we translate this into social media. If I were fishing for Anne in Instagram, I would post stuff like this all day long. And this is the kind of stuff that Anne would give, the heart on, right? Mm-hmm. Adventure awaits. And you can see, this is just an example, you guys, my handle's at the bottom, at Pamela Herman. Right. So adventure awaits. That's one example right there. She who is brave is free. Okay. Anne seeks adventure. So paint the picture for her of this is what your life could look like when you live in reckless abandon. Okay. So these types of images are super easy to create. We don't have time for me to show you in this one, but when we do some basics of Facebook, I'll show you guys exactly how you can create this too and just get super creative with your copy. Not just the simple sentences, but just how do you match them with the right image? Right. And how is that image and that copy matching to Anne so that I can fly fish? This is the equivalent of the right fly at the end of the right line with the right cast, with me standing in the right part of the river at the right part of day. Got it?
Got it. Wow.
But boom.
Boom.
Dance like no one is watching. Anne would totally respond to that. Okay? Got
it.
That's it.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt you. You're such a role, and I'm not going to interrupt the expert here. And guys, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate Pamela. We literally set this up within 48 hours. She didn't know she was coming. She actually has the plans right after this, so we've got like a short. You have like 5 minutes. We're going to address questions, and I can take it from there. So just a quick recap for everybody. I want them to basically get it. So what they got from this was one, be able to go like. Instead of doing net casting, do fly fishing, which is create a sub-market. Find out who's like, your ideal, basically in this case, business partner, and start developing the hero's journey story, around that, what they want. And you can use the Pixar pitch. I mean, it's something really simple. Once upon a time, this, discover, and you can just basically put it. And then once you have that, which we're going to cover next week, now we got how we create the content. We can take that content, put it on YouTube, and then next week we're going to talk about Facebook marketing, right? And how this employers to Facebook. But you got to have this down, right?
It's the basics.
Cool. All right.
Marketing 101.
Awesome. All right. So guys, if you have questions, type it out in the question mark so we can basically get them addressed here. I'm
going to stop sharing now. Sound good? Now I can see your face.
No worries. Thank you.
Okay.
And then at the end of that, I'm going to cover any questions. Anybody have questions that you guys want addressed? Anything about branding, what kind of content to create? Make sure you type it on the question part. You got tons of like positive feedback. I just want.
Oh, thanks, Jerry.
That's an awesome Pixar pitch. Can you share the first slide of the Pixar pitch?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. We're gonna have this all in a video for you, so you guys will have that set up. And then go ahead, you share. It's a powerful Pixar pitch, phenomenal. John said as well.
All right.
And guys, and then you got all the kind of stuff. Everyone says very clever. You got a ton of movies, which guys, every one of those movies, if you look at it, go back to what Pamela said, and you're going to notice they have the exact same model. You got the hero's journey. They had some kind of obstacle. They overcame it. And then all of a sudden they realized like this was their big epiphany. So that's awesome. And any questions? Stephen Jones says, thanks, Pamela. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Good to see you too. Jerry says that was great. Says, where can I get more info on the hero sequence? Ian, so we're going to be giving this available, and on the hero's journey, it's actually going to be. Do you cover that more in depth on your?
I do. Yes.
Cool. So you'll have it with the product, so you guys will have access to that. Hillary says, awesome. Thank you. Scott says she rocks. Build it, they will come. Awesome presentation, Pamela. So if we were creating our own branding videos for YouTube, how will we promote ourselves while also telling the story? From Tara. That's a great question.
Yeah, it's a combination. Again, it's like weaving a fabric. So we're always talking, particularly in video, we're using this framework and we're talking to our perfect customer, our ideal customer or business partner. And then we're just kind of seeding our personal stories as we're doing that. It's a little bit of a nuanced skill. It takes a little bit of time to develop it. But when you're really clear, look, I'm explaining this part of your desire, Anne, and I struggled with that too. Let me tell you a little bit about how I struggled with that, like just a minute or so on that and then get back to her. Okay, so here's how I got through it, Anne, and here's how you can get through it too. So you're seeding your personal story in the process of dealing with their issues and their desires and their challenges.
That's cool. So you're relating the part of your story that would relate to your customer, right?
And very, like, just in little teaspoonfuls. Don't make it all about you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, if you ever notice on the webinars, we do that a lot. So like, who are we going after? Like business owners and professionals. If you guys listen to my story in the webinar, it's all about traveling and working 42 out of 52 weeks. And the reason why I picked that part of the story was because that's something that they can all relate to, okay? So we all have stories. The key is to pick the part of your story that relates best to whatever your ideal business partner is going through. And that's what you're going to do. And what Pamela actually just nailed it on the head is what Tony Robbins used to say. It's like, don't worry about your product or service. You know, identify your dream client or business, and that's what our product's going to allow you to do, which is awesome.
Well, and what's and I'll even plus that by saying, you know, when you get your wrap down with this, your sales, you'll just crush it. Now when I sit across the table from somebody, and I do it mostly consulting in my work right now, so when I'm sitting across the table from a prospect right now and they're just like, well, how can you help me? I understand their pain, their challenges so acutely because they're no different than anybody else that I'm talking to. They are so like everybody else that I can anticipate what they're going to say, what their challenges are, and then I'm just basically reframing their words back to them. And that's why this is so important, because from a sales perspective, it really helps you kind of tighten down the close. So you can say, yeah, I get it. I know what your pain is, and I know I can help you with that. Here's how I'm going to do it. So it's really key to the entire sales process.
That's perfect. And I think you just answered what was Wade and Joanne's question is, how do we keep from making our brand too long and losing Anne's interest?
Making it too long, making the story.
Basically saying like either the story too long, yeah, and where like she's engaged the entire time.
Yeah. So so the way I manage that is that in the first couple of minutes from meeting like if you're delivering it through digital, you just have to watch the analytics of it. And if people are dropping off a video 12 seconds in, you can tell that your intro is not you're not setting the hook properly. So digitally, it's easy to track where you need to finesse it. When you're face-to-face with somebody, I read body language. And so in a matter of minutes, I'm assessing what is their personality type. I can tell if they're like my little brother Peter, highly analytical. And so I won't use a lot of affectations in my words. I'll use very direct language with them. I don't use a lot of expression because they don't really even care or probably notice it. So I kind of go right into, oh, tell me about your work. Oh, okay, cool. And so I'm just trying to match and mirror them, and that's just a pretty common sales strategy. But that's how it is that you can tell. There's a gal that I'm coaching right now, a solopreneur, and she doesn't pick up social cues, and it's really important. She's losing a lot of sales. She's a great person. She's got a great heart and everything, and a great product. But she's not watching her audience to see that they're not interested in what she's saying, and so she keeps going on and on and on with her stories, and people are like, she's a freaking nutcase. I don't want to do business with her. And that's the last thing that you want people to say, because you're just not reading their cues. Yeah.
Right. As Doug said, this, by the way, you got tons of positive. Everyone's like, very informative presentation. Thank you, from Jackie. Steven says, I got so much just from what you just communicated. I'm full of ideas from what you just communicated. Yes, there'll be a replay link. Jerry says, I recommend everyone gets a chance to meet Pam in person. Oh, wait. Pam's coming to San Fran.
Woo! That's my hometown.
Blake says, will you teach us on how to basically make videos like the Dollar Shave Guy in San Francisco? LOL.
Oh my gosh, let's totally do that. Let's do that in San Francisco. I'll make a note.
I think once they get the story down, it's like, you know, you can start that from the basics and go from there. What
that guy took a lot of improv classes. That should be a hint to you.
You have?
No, that guy, Mike. There's a couple podcasts that I love to listen to, and this will help inspire you guys too.
Sure.
One of them is called From Scratch. That's an NPR.
Okay.
And the other is How I Built This. And I think he was interviewed by How I Built This. So just Google it. Podcast How I Built This, Dollar Shave Club. Listen to that interview, and he talks about this video because it's got millions of views.
That's cool. David says, "Oh my God, my mind's going a million miles an hour now." Cool. So guys, that's all I did is give you some ideas, and then wait till you guys start going through the products. So Pamela, I know you got to go, and because I know you're on a timeline, and we did this last second. Pamela's so cool because guys, when we scheduled this, we literally were. She knew she was going to do it sometime. She just didn't realize. I gave her like a 48-hour warning.
I know. I think we talked yesterday morning. I'm like, okay, wait. I got to wrap my brain around this. I've got a 4-hour client meeting.
And I felt so bad. I was like, we could do it on Thursday. And then she's like, well, if we do branding, and she's like, I can do that from the back of my hand because I understand that concept because she's an expert at it. So I want everybody just please say thank you because I know she's got to run off. So everybody say thank you.
Thank you.
In the comments to Pamela. I'm going to send you the chat so you can see this too later.
Awesome. No, it's absolutely my pleasure. I look forward to meeting you guys. I've known Jerry and Brian for a long time. Alex, you're a new friend. Those guys I've known for many years now, and it's really cool to see the success. I don't know that Brian confessed it, but I actually coached him. I think we figured out, I think it was about 3 years ago or something, and he was profoundly stuck. He was still working for the man. And
oh my God, so you're the one.
Yeah.
Now I know. That makes so much sense because I was trying to figure out how Brian got so smart. Now
it's all coming together. Jerry and I had met probably around the same time, maybe a little bit earlier than that, even at No Excuses Summit. And so we kind of go way back and have been friends and acquaintances for a while. So it's good to be reconnected with you guys and to meet your community and to see everything that you guys have all built together. So
you literally just had, I'm not joking you, like 50 thank you messages. I'm not.
So that's awesome, you guys.
I'm just going to send you this because I want you to see it. David says, thank you, Pamela. Look forward to seeing you in San Fran.
Excellent.
See you in SFO. Great stuff. Thanks for being awesome. Great material. So we got to, Coach says, Jerry says, does this mean Brian has to change his personality? No, Jerry, I think we're stuck with him the way he is.
My expertise does not go that far, I'm afraid to say.
Thank you so much. If you don't mind, stop sharing your screen on this. And guys, I'm going to finish up by going over a few things with you guys. And everybody said thanks to Pam. I will thank you so much for doing this last second. And I will see you in San Francisco. And guys, next week, we're going to talk about Facebook, and here's the cool part. I've gone through a lot of Facebook courses, and what's cool about Pam's is hers is one of the only ones that I know that's like so good for beginners. If you've never done Facebook and you want to be able to learn it, you're going to be able to get that. So next week, same time. I don't know if it'll be same time, but I'll announce it. But we're going to do Facebook next week. So let's cover what we're going to cover now to get everybody caught up to speed. Okay, so here's what we got. For those of you who have been on the webinars, here's what this basically means. Right now, we've got what you guys just saw. Was that valuable? Raise your hand if you guys think that was like tremendous amount of value to help you guys do branding, right? So imagine an entire course on that instead of a 1 hour where it literally takes you by the hand over your shoulder, where she literally teaches you what to do play by play. Here's the story. Here's your ideal customer, and it shows you how to do it. So first of all, we're going to have that course available for you on branding course. And again, her course is going to be a do-it-yourself. It'll be in our back office, and it's going to be part of the pre-launch when you guys attend the event. And the good part is you're going to get access to implement these strategies right away, okay? These strategies are going to teach you essentially how to be able to have, guys, how to really teach you or any business owner how to brand themselves versus the company, and how to build your own following. What that means is that you guys want to be able to brand yourselves, and I've been mentioning this, like you don't want to brand a figure dream lifestyle because you want to have your own following, your own database. And when people come to that, first of all, you don't have competition because you're just marketing yourself, and then we can start marketing. Now, I'm going to tell you, first 30 days, anybody comes in, don't try to figure out marketing, guys. Go basically do the dialer, do everything we teach you. But after 30 days, when you guys start having some success, you're going to take 20% of what you make, and you're going to be able to do a lot more than the dialer. So I'm just going to tell you, That's where you guys want to start using Facebook and YouTube and start really branching out. Second is now the products, as I mentioned to you, are becoming standalone. Imagine who can use this branding? Well, almost anybody, right? Coaches, realtors, mortgage brokers, anyone who wants to basically build their own business. And what's so great about that is that's going to make our products as a standalone function, which again, you're never going to have to worry about answering, what are we selling again? Guys, I'm just telling you, I've been doing a pre-launch pitch basically to a lot of my screen shares. I never get that question anymore. Like, are the products valuable? They're all not only signing up, they're coming in at 22K and they're all coming to the event. So I'm telling you, it works. The products are going to help you guys close about 20–30% more conversions. So here's how we're going to be releasing it, just so you guys know. We're going to do a webinar each week like we have when we did. Can't talk today, I'm sorry. We're going to do a webinar each week. One of the first ones we did last week was on YouTube. This one was on branding. Next week, we're going to focus on Facebook advertising. We're going to show you the value behind the product. That's what this was really entailed. And the whole idea of these preview webinars is I told all the product owners, it's just about to give you guys value. We want to give you guys so much value so you can see, wow, if this hour was so valuable, imagine how awesome our products are going to be when they launch. And we have a pre-launch of our products. When you attend the event, you guys are going to get access to the product sooner. During pre-launch, is we release a new one each week. And the reason why we're releasing one at a time was because we want you guys to be able to go through the information and start applying it versus doing it all at one time. You're going to get a chance to meet some of the product owners directly. You're going to get a chance to meet Joe from last week. Pamela's going to be there as well. And you're going to see the other two. I'm going to leave the other two mystery guests because we're going to do 2 more product webinars before our event, and you guys are going to get to see who those people are. And is basically you're going to learn how to take your business as well by coming to the event to be able to get to 30K a month, okay? So here's an update on the event. A lot of you guys have already gotten tickets. I'm just going to tell you guys where we're at now. It's at June 23rd to June 25th. For those of you who don't know, San Francisco is where it's going to be at. The venue we finalized, it's going to be Park 55 Hotel. It's the great thing about it, guys. It's right in the middle of the heart of San Francisco. It's a beautiful venue. It's a 4.5-star hotel. And if you're going to fly into airport, we've been checking this out. It's easier to fly into San Francisco. You could fly into Oakland if your tickets are a lot cheaper. But I'm just going to tell you it's about 15–20 minute difference in Uber ride. I think there's a BART train and things like that you can take as well. I'm just saying if you just want to get off at the airport and just simply make it a straight line to be able to go to the hotel, Uber ride will get you there. I think the cost is somewhere around $45–50 bucks. It's not that much. And guys, everything will be at the hotel. You're not going to have to worry about like leaving the premise. It's going to be awesome. That's what I wanted to tell you. It's only been 2 weeks and we've got 120 tickets sold already. I want to congratulate all the people that are coming because I know the value it's going to be for you. I also want to congratulate all the mentors because they made a certain commitment and they've literally upheld their end of the commitment. And I'm so stoked as far as everybody coming and what's going to happen there. So here's all you get in case you guys been missing it. You're going to get pre-launch of the products. It's about a $5,000 value. Training done by the founders. I mean, that alone is how we started. But more importantly, I think direct access to over 30 mentors who've already done it. Because here's the funny part. I know for some of you, you look at me, Jerry, and Brian. You may or may not say, oh, wow, let's Brian, Jerry, and Alex. Of course they can do it. But what about 30 mentors? What about Kay, who came to our last webinar, 72 years old, and she's made $44,000 in 60 days? What about Jim, who owned an insurance company, who's made now $78,000 in the last 90 days? What about James, who got to quit, and June 1st was his first day, and he basically now has made over $78,000 as well, and he fired his boss, so congratulations, James. So you're going to get a chance to meet all these awesome individuals who guys have just been just crushing it in our business. So I think the greatest value, it's like, I think every event is going to be not only better, but more valuable because you guys are going to see so many more mentors that are going to be sharing the stage, sharing their success stories. So you're going to get even more value. The chance to create your own video promos. I know Leilani and Massimo would tell you that they literally just shot video promos at the Vail event and they had like literally 3 or 4 sales that came in. just from them being at the event and shooting those video promos. So that's going to be huge. I'm talking about just you going around and just videoing with people. I'm not even talking about the one that had to do the bonus. You get access to special promotions. If you're a 65 and 12.5 member and you're coming, I'm just going to tell you, you definitely want to be there. We're going to give you promotions that are literally going to save you $22,000. I'm just going to tell you. So you want to be there. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's a really good hint. And the people who came to the last event were able to take advantage of it. So I would highly recommend being there. And the ability to promote products from day one, 20-30% more conversions. Guys, just imagine, how powerful would it be if you could just promote products without the business? Would that, you think that would give you guys, raise your hand if you guys could see the value in that. I just want to gauge you and see if you guys are there with me. Okay, good. Yeah, that's going to be really, really important. So people can literally come and utilize the products as a standalone, and if they want to build the business, they can. But the cool part is whatever they're doing as business owners, they can literally utilize these products and double or triple their marketing online, okay? As you guys know, the total is going to be huge. So the next steps, so who can attend the event? For those of you who missed out, 65 and 100 and higher. If you guys haven't gotten your tickets, go ahead and go to this site. It's going to show you how to do it. Ticket prices are only $6.95. And if you're brand new, qualified at 22K, if you came in at the full 22K, make sure you get back to your sponsor, because your sponsor will be giving you a complimentary ticket. If you came in at the 6,500 bonus or 12.5 bonus, then go to the site, go ahead and register and get get it right now. And so if you guys know, we gave away a bonus at the last for the last one all the way up to June 2nd, which was basically promotions. But I want to tell you, for everybody that registers now between June 2nd and 9th, we got these really cool shirts we're making, and it's going to have a really cool logo. It's a brand new logo. It's only going to be for this event, and we've already thought, I'm not going to tell you what's going to say, because it has a lot to do with you guys being at the event. But it's really about the new era and where we're headed, and it's going to be all about making money online, guys. That's what life is about now. We're going to show you why 82 people have been able to launch a brand new online business and made 7 figures in a year. Why are they able to do this? Yet more jobs are becoming obsolete and extinct every day. 60% of jobs are going to be extinct or obsolete in 5 years from now. So if we know that, and what is it these people know about marketing online, that's what you're going to learn. And the shirt that we're going to make is going to reflect the direction that we're headed. For everyone that basically purchases their ticket by June the 9th, you guys will get one of those t-shirts. So it's going to be awesome. And here's what I'm going to tell you. If you guys do not, you guys are not seeing the slides change? Hold on. Didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know, Jerry. Okay, are you guys seeing, raise your hand if you've seen those that buy a ticket buy before June 9th. Raise your hand if you guys have seen that. Okay, cool. Thank you. So I'm just going to tell you guys, if you guys don't know the power of a t-shirt or having one of these things, I wear my 8FDL, and I think I carried my cup whenever I go work out. And it's an instant conversation starter, because guess what people ask me? They ask me, well, what's 8-Figure Dream Lifestyle? I just tell them, I go, hey, well, we teach people how to make money online. And they're like, well, how do you do that? That's the very first next question they ask. I'm like, well, the cool part is we have webinars that explain the entire thing. We have them from, a couple of days a week. I'm going to give you my access to the site, or you can watch a replay. I made 2 sales from that, $13,000 from a t-shirt. I wish I had it. I could hang it up for you guys. How many guys would pay? I'm really trying hard not to laugh. How many guys would pay a t-shirt that you got for free that'd be an instant conversation starter? And the funny thing is, I wasn't even trying to make sales. I was just literally working out. I had it on. The guy's like, what's 8FDL? I'm like, okay, well, we teach people how to make money on. But if anybody ever asks you what we do for a living, very simple. We teach people how to make money online. That's all you have to say, because you want them to say back to you, well, how do you do that? That's where you go, well, we have a webinar that explains the entire thing, and then you can go straight into it, okay? And let's just say you're going to want to have a shirt. So if you get your tickets by Friday, you guys will get one of those. It's going to be awesome. I've already done this, but in case you guys don't see the value, hopefully, guys, we do more and more of these webinars. Now, remember, we've only done 2 of these pre-launch webinars. Imagine what it's going to be like when you get 15 over the next 15 weeks. You guys can already see the value on the 2, okay? And I don't know, hold on. I keep getting messages. I just want to make sure you guys can see the slides. So I'll restart. Okay, Oh, great. So now I can't launch my slides. Remind me not to do that again. All right, so I can't launch my slides now, but overall, I'm going to tell you guys, I can't exit. Can I share screen? Give me 1 second, guys. Let me see if I can do it this way. Nope. Exit full screen. I was trying to show you guys. Okay, so I'm going to have to type this out. So I'll put this in the chat box so it's not pulling up. So for those of you who haven't gotten tickets, which is very few of you because we've already got over 120 tickets, but if you get it before this Friday, you guys will get access to our bonus. And what I'm going to tell you now is make sure you go to the site. I'm going to type it out in the chat box. 30K in 60 days event. So guys, when you go to the site, we've updated all the detail entering. I don't know if you guys saw last week. We updated the event funnel. You can also go there. We'll give you all the information. Okay, right off the bat. So you guys can literally go to the site, check out the event funnel. It will show you where you can register. I know we had some issues with the site in order to be able to register for the hotel. So all you have to do is basically really simple, guys. Go to the 30K in 60 days event, buy your ticket. Step 2 is basically when you do that, it's automatically going to take you through the steps because as soon as you buy your ticket, it redirects you to the registration page. So you'll fill out the registration. After you finish the registration, it redirects you to the hotel page. So you guys get to get everything set up at all at one time, okay? Someone says I'm breaking up. Can you guys hear me okay? Raise your hand. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Okay, all the hands are going up. Okay, cool. So I just want to see if that was single up. All right, cool. I'm going to take questions real quick. If you guys have any, I think most of them are really awesome comments for Pamela. One-on-one, blah, 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 blah. Okay. See, I'm just going to take a look. Javier says, do you have a YouTube channel for more of your content? We are, if you're asking personally, yes, you're going to create a YouTube channel for yourself, Javier, and that's going to be able to help you to build that out, okay? Alex, awesome info. Can you please send link on the recording? Okay, so guys, just so you understand, the recording on these, they're very valuable. We're not just going to post them because we don't want these sent out to prospects. This is for members only. So we're going to put this in our back office in the My 8-Figure Dream Lifestyle. As soon as I load them up, we're just looking at we're putting it together. As soon as we have a place where we put it together, we're going to put the YouTube along with this one, and I will send it out to you guys so you guys can be able to utilize this info. Remember, this is for members only, so that's why we're embedding it inside our system. So the only people that can get this are members, okay? Aaron said, thank you, loved it. You're welcome. Welcome, thanks. Kendall says, thanks, Pam. Awesome. Just want to see if there's any other thanks. Definitely worth the time to be here today. Lynn said, awesome, thanks for that, Pam. Are there special rates or just book with the hotel? Phyllis, yes, we have special rates on our hotel. It's actually on the site or as a 1-800 number. If you go to your event funnel, it will show you where you can click on it. It's only $229, okay? You're welcome, Tara. Gonna be a nice polo shirt with a Stitch logo? John says no. It's gonna be a t-shirt and it's gonna be really badass. That's all I'm gonna say. Excuse my language. I know it's kids, but it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be very futuristic and it's gonna make people say, holy crap, what is that logo? And what is that guy doing? And we're gonna have something written on the back, but I'm not gonna tell you what that is until the event. I gotta keep a few surprises for you guys. I'm literally giving you all the value, guys. Come on. I gotta have a few surprises up for you. Can I have okay, Linda, you're asking, can you have a new mentor? Linda, get back to your founding leader. If you guys have issues with any of your sponsors or somewhat, guys, get back to your either your onboarding specialist or your technical support, especially if you're on, whatever team you're on, because we want to be able to help you guys get, because we want to make sure the sponsors are doing their job and you guys are getting access to both the onboarding and as well as the groups, okay? So you guys know the only people that get access to Skype in the Facebook community, it's only done through the onboarding specialist or if you're a mentor, because we want to make sure that we have members coming in, okay? So, and it's not just somebody, just requesting it, okay? Lorraine says people love badass. That's awesome. Gotta love badass. So I'm glad you guys like badasses. That's awesome. You guys are all badasses, but I'm gonna quit saying that because I know there's probably some kids on the line. All right, Leilani says Alex brings the fire. Thanks, guys. It's all about value. So hopefully you guys can see the amount of value we're gonna be launching. I'm so excited, guys. I think that's all we had. I don't see any other questions. Mike says, love your vision. That's awesome. Guys, just so you know where we're headed, and we'll end with this. These are only 2. We got over 13 other products we're going to be launching. The pre-launch, you guys will get access to all of that as we launch them. 1 a week, so you guys can start assimilating the information, and you're going to love it. I'm just going to tell you where we're headed. No one's there ever gone, and no one's going to be able to catch up. Where we're headed is somewhere no one's ever done, and it's going to be the very first online business of its kind. We already have over 100 people have made at least $10,000 online in the last 6 months. That's unreal. I like, for me, that's like so surreal what we've already been able to accomplish. And what I want to share with you, it's not just me or Jerry or Brian, that's all of you guys. So congratulations. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the vision. And I'm just going to tell you, like she said, this is all what you guys are going to be a part of. You guys get to define where we're headed. So get ready for that, because 8-Figure Dream Lifestyle, it is a community, and the community has been just absolutely rock solid. So I'm so excited. A 6,500 sale today. Congratulations, Patrick. Way to go, buddy. Patrick, do me a favor. Make sure you make another note in Skype that's like 1,000 long. Patrick, I don't know what he did, but he did something. I went and checked Skype, and there was like 660 messages over the weekend. I'm like, what the heck is that? But he was just, I don't know, he pressed return like 1,000 times, but it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, man, my art group is really active. So Patrick, that was just so funny. I just had to share that with you. But congrats, buddy. You deserve it. Patrick Wagner is the one that did it, not Patrick McCoy. So just in case you wanted. All right, guys, we love you guys. We wanted to keep these short. We will post this when we do. We'll let you know. You haven't gotten the ticket, please do so, guys. So that way you guys can get access to all these products, okay? With that said, we'll see you guys later. Have a rockin'. I know tomorrow night Jerry's going to do his thing. So make sure you pack up the webinars because we're just getting started. Take care. Bye-bye.